Hey friends, Josh here, certified HR professional and founder of HR University. So welcome back in this video where we'll discuss a pretty important topic in the HR field, which is the main types of job evaluation methods. But before we move on, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up to date with everything HR. Now let's go ahead and get started. And we'll start by saying that job evaluation is a process of weighing different job positions within a company in order to determine a convenient pay rate. This makes sure that everyone is paid their worth and that different jobs have different entry and performance requirements. The International Labor Organization defines a job evaluation process as an attempt to determine and compare the demands of a particular job position. One good thing about job evaluation is that you don't need to worry about the qualities of a job holder. The relative worth is assessed irrespective of the qualities of a specific job holder. And for most companies, different team members vary in their responsibilities and the profit they bring to the business. And that's why a fair hierarchy is vital for a company's reputation. A good job evaluation process is the first step towards creating a fair compensation system in every business according to the hierarchy and responsibilities. Job evaluation largely depends on market pricing, which decides jobs' worth in the labor market. And as a thorough process, it can last for a few months, so it must be carried out by an experienced team of senior employees who should know the roles of most job positions. Many companies choose to hire external consultants to take care of this task because they can be a little bit more objective. And job evaluation is often mistaken for job analysis and vice versa. And yet there is a big difference between both of these two practices. On the one hand, job analysis is about writing job descriptions through a detailed examination and understanding of the tasks and responsibilities included in it. On the other hand, job evaluation methods assess and compare the value of each job. And in this video, our aim is to educate HR professionals and other management professionals on internal job evaluation methods, external job evaluation methods, the functioning of the whole process, and the job evaluation maintenance process. So let's go ahead and dive in. So how can job evaluation methods be divided? In the past, job evaluation used to be an internal comparison of just different jobs worth only, but today it includes both internal comparisons and external market benchmarking. When it comes to internal job evaluation methods, these can be quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative methods evaluate jobs according to facts based on gathered data. In this group, we have the point factor method, the factor comparison method, and custom factor comparison method. Let's start with the point factor method. The point factor method analyzes jobs by dissecting them into compensable factors. HR experts assign points to the factors and decide on a pay structure for the position. Statistically, this method is the most commonly used one in Europe and the US. The method also reinforces internal equity by forcing a company to quantify total points for every employee. And this helps determine the value of each. And not only does it provide compensable value, but it also takes care of recruitment benefits, job design, and promotions. A major setback of the point factor method is the need for extra time, resources, and assistance from senior management. And studies have shown that the standards for calculating the pay based on factors may have led to biases against minorities. And here's an example of the point factor method here. So we have 3 different jobs. These can be any job titles within your company. Now in the point factor method, you list down the compensable factors. As in our case, we have education, skills, responsibility, and working conditions that the employee will have once they are hired. Keep in mind, it's not limited to these factors. You can have more factors depending upon the nature of the job. After the factors are listed, a team of experienced members, mostly the senior members, then assign points to each of the different jobs the company has to offer. And then a total number is calculated for each job. The second quantitative method we'll discuss is the factor comparison method. It's a scientific method designed to rank job roles based on a breakdown of factors rather than the role as a whole. The factor comparison method contains several steps to complete it. First, it implies identification of benchmark jobs or jobs with responsibilities shared by multiple individuals like accountants, sales representatives, administrative assistants, stock clerks, security guards, and others. Next, the company should analyze the benchmark jobs, rank them, and decide on compensable factors. Here, employers are supposed to compare jobs for benchmarking and assign a monetary value for every compensable factor. And finally, there is the custom factor comparison method, a specific choice for particular organizations. You should have in mind that it does require more time and dedication to monitor market rates and maintain integrity here. Let's have a look at the example for the factor comparison method. For this organization has identified a few key jobs that are job 1, 2, and 3. These jobs are assumed to be fairly paid. Then there are the 5 important factors listed against which each of these key jobs points are listed. We also have the salaries listed down for each of the 3 key jobs. This helps in formulating the pay rate scale for each of the factors listed. With the help of these factors, ratings and the pay rates compared, it becomes easier for HR to decide the pay package for the new job position. The same goes for the case of custom factor comparison method, but in that case, you can have more factors listed other than the 5 here. Now let's get to the qualitative job evaluation methods. Unlike quantitative, qualitative job evaluation methods give job definitions through observation and description. These are the job ranking method and the job classification method. The job ranking is the easiest evaluation method, but not all businesses will find it useful. It's most suitable for small companies that can narrow their staff to 100 or less specific jobs. In order to get the best out of this method, think about hiring an experienced compensation specialist who will set a fair hierarchy without favoritism. And job ranking is divided into 3 main stages. In the first stage, you identify the key jobs. This is done with the help of a paired comparison, as can be seen in the table here. So if you have 8 jobs, this means that there are 16 paired comparisons. In the second stage of the job ranking method, you rank key jobs based on the monthly salaries. Or you can also use some other criteria to rank these jobs. And later on, when you're done with the ranking of your key jobs, then you move ahead and rank the other jobs remaining. And next we have the job classification method. The individual who evaluates is the one who outlines a description of each job class and grades them. This process covers a large variety of jobs and job descriptions. So one job position can belong to more than one grade level. And job classification also filters job titles and duties based on skill and complexity shared among organizations. Here's an example of how a job classification table looks like. We can see a predetermined number of job groups listed here, and there are jobs assigned for each of the classification. Let's move on to external job evaluation methods. This method works better for matrix organizations with little hierarchy or organizations suffering from skill shortages. This is where many employers choose to employ market data to determine the value of a job position. Doing regular reviews of external pay rates as well as generating accurate market data will allow companies to stay fair and competitive. For instance, market pricing focuses on the external value of specific jobs, makes room for effective and competitive salary plans, as well as wise allocation of compensation costs. This method mostly uses third-party compensation surveys. Although the market pricing method prioritizes external competitiveness, some employers may lack reliable market data for all job positions. As a result, internal job evaluation is crucial for keeping internal equity. But what are the essential benefits of common job evaluation methods? Well, job content evaluation is beneficial for internal consistency and job assessment. It is also vital for following federal laws and regulations by ensuring equal pay to employees. You can build a healthy work environment without a fair pay for performance concept. And all, the entire job evaluation process is a key factor in establishing a trustworthy and consistent work structure and focuses on a job's complexity. So you may be asking yourself, how do I conduct a job evaluation? Well, many job evaluations methods depend on the personal decision of the evaluators. They can sometimes take an individual employee's personal qualities into consideration as leading job factors. And this is why external consultants can often bring more productivity and objectivity in weighing them. Here, base pay is a deciding factor in the employee's standard of living. And it ultimately determines how much the company values the employee's role and contributions. In every work environment, compensation is a sensitive topic that can cause a reluctant approach to change. So it is important that the base pay rates are appropriate for both the employer and the employees. Both must be aligned with federal law, cost-effective, and externally competitive. And it's important to note that job evaluation projects include several common steps in all companies. First off, the employer should outline the parameters of the project in coordination with the senior management. And based on that, they have to choose a convenient evaluation system that works in the company's best interest. After that, the team should gather relevant job data required for the particular method with reliable, trustworthy techniques. The collected data is then ready for analysis, documenting, and assessment. And to establish a fair hierarchy, you want to use points and divide job positions into grades according to breaks. Once you build a reliable pay structure, allocate the jobs to it. Next, you should track system development and choose operating procedures while also thinking of formal appeals and reconsidering decisions. And as a very final step, you should make sure employees are familiar with the decision-making process concerning their pay rates. The best way to achieve this is through transparency, which can happen through a management employee communications program. That being said, it's beyond important to know when you need job reevaluation. When it comes to smaller businesses with rare cases of upward mobility, small changes in responsibility can make managers consider a reevaluation. It's advisable to do a routine reevaluation of all jobs once every 2 years. And in a broad system, jobs often need a proper classification. Still, you can conduct the job evaluation process with simpler groupings instead of complex systems such as point factor evaluation. For example, companies can combine ranking to market with whole job slotting. In this case, the management team should document job contents and make the best use of job descriptions. Last but not least, let's talk about system maintenance here. When a management team finishes its job evaluation procedure, you must document the system and review it from time to time. This way you have access to new job positions or those in need of reevaluation. The most important steps in the process include the choice of compensable factors, defining each of their degrees, assigning a value to every factor and degree, and applying reliable criteria to attain points for each factor and point total, and allocating each job to a particular point range based on the point total. And base pay administration vastly depends on pay ranges and pay increase budgets. Because consistency of your pay policy is important for the reputation of your business, it can be achieved by discussing merit pay and addressing pay ranges. Pay rates lower than the minimum or higher than the maximum can be problematic. Finally, salaries that go above the maximum rate expected are known as red circle rates. And those that don't reach the minimum rate are known as green circle rates. Still, both salary types are in violation of general work ethics. And here the employer should work on immediate reevaluation. And there we have it. That's all for HR job evaluation techniques. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more HR content. And I'll go ahead and see you in some of our following videos. Cheers.